Okay, so in this series of asking questions, I haven't decided what I'm going to call it. What should I call it? I got to decide right away, so I'll have to call it something. Here's my other question I wanted to ask y'all. Look, if you've gone and you've looked at a lot of the marriage permanent stuff, you've looked at some of the scriptures on, 1 Corinthians 7, Romans 7, you've looked at Matthew 19, and you've come down on the position where you're saying, you know what? I'm going to stand for my marriage because I don't want to, A, get into an adulterous situation for me. B, I don't want to marry someone else and get that person into adultery since I've been married previously. C, I don't want to set a bad example or communicate in any way to my covenant spouse that, finding or getting married to someone new is A-okay, that's something that we should do. You don't want to lead by example or just do the wrong thing and communicate by them that, you're moving on, you don't believe in them anymore. Okay, right? I think a lot of you guys are in that situation, you men and women. So what are you guys doing when you go to churches and you just feel like no one else sees it from that perspective? And you're basically in a situation where you're dealing with you don't really like the whole church culture. You don't feel like it's good for marriages. You maybe don't even feel like it's biblical. I know one guy who's a subscriber. He says it's not even the real gospel anymore. That, we've taken that, whatever, the American church, you could say, in his, I guess, broad experiences, is like he just thinks this isn't Christianity anymore. This is a different gospel, that go get married a bunch of times, God's going to forgive you, and it's all good. How are you guys dealing with that? When you go to churches and you meet pastors and they can't give you a straight answer about, when is a couple in adultery, they don't have any limits or understanding for when is a biblical divorce. They don't know really what to do with the scriptures. Or maybe you get one of those, and I think this happens a lot. You get the pastor up front who's, plays real hardball, but then if you do a little searching about what goes down on the counseling department, it's a total free-for-all. So you get the guy up there who's like filling the pews because he's like, we're serious about marriage, we stand on God's word, and then you go and find out what's going on in the counseling people when marriages are in crisis, and it's divorce for this and divorce for that, and I'm sure we can find a loophole for you if you'd like to get remarried. That's no problem. Everything will be fine. I'm sure God understands. How are you guys handling those situations? What are you doing? I'm just curious. Okay, see ya.